Cassava, also known as yuca or manioc, has long been tied to the humble meals of many tropical countries. Few people realize that this simple root is actually helping to feed hundreds of millions of people, while also becoming a strategic raw material in many modern industries. Around the world, more than 100 countries grow cassava, with vast fields stretching across Africa, South America, and Asia. Each year, global cassava production exceeds 300 million tons, which is about 272 million metric tons, a powerful reminder of its importance in food security and economic development. In today's video, we will follow the full journey of cassava, from the moment it is planted in the ground, nurtured and harvested, all the way to its transformation into products that appear both on our dining tables and inside industrial factories. Cassava has an incredible ability to adapt, capable of growing even in poor, dry, and nutrient-deficient soils. However, to achieve high yields and produce large, starchy roots, soil preparation becomes a crucial step. The ideal soil for cassava is loose, rich in organic matter, and well-drained. Before planting, the land is plowed to a depth of 8 to 12 inches, which is about 20 to 30 centimeters, to break up the hardpan beneath the surface. This compacted layer usually restricts the development of roots and tubers. After plowing, the soil surface is loosened. Weeds and plant residues are cleared, making it easier for roots to spread and absorb nutrients. Another essential step is to build ridges or raised mounds. This practice allows cassava roots to develop evenly, prevents them from being compressed in tight soil, and significantly reduces the risk of waterlogging during the rainy season, which is the main cause of root rot and poor quality. In many regions, farmers also enrich the soil with decomposed animal manure, kitchen ash, or organic biofertilizers. These natural amendments not only supply nutrients for the cassava plants, but also improve soil fertility and restore ecological balance, creating the right conditions for sustainable growth throughout the season. Preparing the land for cassava may seem simple, but in reality, it requires both hard work and experience. Healthy soil means fewer pests and diseases, stronger plants, and higher yields. For farmers, caring for the land is truly the foundation for a successful and abundant harvest. Unlike many other crops, cassava is not grown from seeds. Farmers use a method called stem cuttings, selecting mature stalks from strong, healthy mother plants. This step is absolutely crucial because the quality of the cuttings directly determines the germination rate, plant vigor, and eventually the harvest yield. A standard cutting is usually 8 to 10 inches long, which is about 20 to 25 centimeters, and contains 4 to 6 visible buds. These buds are the points where new roots and shoots will grow. When cutting, farmers typically use a very sharp, clean, and disinfected knife or pruning shears. This reduces the risk of spreading fungal diseases from one plant to another, while also ensuring a neat cut that makes it easier for roots to form. Before planting, many regions also apply a treatment step. The cuttings are briefly dipped in a fungicide solution or a natural biopesticide. This simple method greatly increases germination rates and prevents stem rot, especially during long periods of wet and humid weather. Another key factor is the origin of the mother plant. The plants chosen for propagation are usually 8 to 12 months old, healthy, pest-free, and capable of producing large, starchy roots. Only by selecting the right mother plants can the cuttings preserve stable genetic traits, ensuring a productive harvest for the entire season. On modern farms, technology is increasingly being applied. Semi-automatic or fully automatic cassava planters can replace the work of dozens of laborers. These machines place each cutting upright at a depth of 2 to 4 inches, which is about 5 to 10 centimeters, while keeping plant and row spacing perfectly even. This allows cassava plants to grow in balance, reduces competition for nutrients, and makes future care and harvesting much easier. From selecting the mother plant to cutting, disinfecting, treating, and planting, every step requires careful attention. Many farmers often say that planting cassava is like planting hope in every small cutting. When cuttings are treated with care, they can confidently look forward to a plentiful and rewarding harvest. Cassava is well known as a crop that can endure harsh conditions. It survives in dry regions, with little rainfall, and even in poor, nutrient-deficient soils. But here is the paradox. During the very first 2 months after planting, water is the lifeline. Without enough water in this early stage, the cuttings dry out, young roots fail to develop, leading to high mortality rates and stunted plants later on. In practice, farmers apply different methods to ensure cassava gets enough water. On large-scale farms, or in areas with scarce rainfall, drip irrigation systems are often the top choice. With this method, every single drop of water goes straight to the roots, conserving resources while keeping steady moisture around them. In regions with abundant water, farmers often use sprinkler irrigation, which evenly soaks the soil surface while cooling the plants on hot days. Meanwhile, in rain-fed areas, farmers carefully time their planting season to take advantage of natural rainfall. Water does more than just help seedlings take root. It also triggers the development of taproots and lateral roots, which form the foundation for large, starchy tubers later on. That is why water management in the early stage is not only about providing enough water, but also about balance. Too much irrigation makes the soil waterlogged, causing cuttings to rot. Too little, and the plants wilt and grow weak. Alongside water, cassava faces another silent enemy: weeds. From the very moment the cuttings sprout, young plants must compete with weeds for every drop of water and every trace of nutrients. If weeds are not controlled in time, cassava plants may become stunted, with yellow leaves and poor competitiveness. Traditionally, many farmers weed manually, using hose, knives, or simply pulling by hand. This method demands hard work, but is highly effective, eliminating weeds down to the roots. On larger farms, mechanical weed cutters are used to save labor and time. Machines can clear weed beds quickly, but they must be handled with care to avoid damaging young plants. Another widely used practice is mulching. Straw, dry leaves, coffee husks, or sawdust are spread around the base of the plants. This mulch layer acts like a natural shield, retaining soil moisture while blocking sunlight that weeds need to grow. It is also one of the sustainable farming techniques, reducing the frequency of weeding and minimizing soil erosion. Interestingly, the combination of water management and weed control lays a solid foundation for the entire crop. If water sustains life, then weed control protects the precious nutrients from being stolen away. These two factors may seem separate, but in reality they work together like a pair of wings, lifting cassava through its most vulnerable stage of life. That is why, when speaking about the secrets of successful cassava cultivation, farmers often emphasize, if you do not take care of water and weeds in the first 2 months, every step afterward will be much harder. This lesson, passed down through generations, perfectly reflects a timeless farming philosophy. A strong start opens the door to a bountiful harvest. Cassava roots have long been recognized as one of the world's largest sources of starch. To produce such an abundant amount, the plant must be supplied with a balanced mix of nutrients. Unlike many other crops that mainly rely on 1 or 2 key elements, cassava requires a well-coordinated supply of all 3 major nutrients: nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium, along with important trace elements. First comes nitrogen. This nutrient is essential for the growth of lush green leaves. Leaves are the factory where photosynthesis takes place, turning sunlight into the energy that fuels the plant. When the leaves are healthy, thick, and green, photosynthesis works at maximum efficiency, giving the plant plenty of raw material to build roots and tubers. But if too much nitrogen is applied, the plant will grow excessive foliage and tall stems, while the roots remain small and low in starch. That is why nitrogen must be kept in balance, especially during the early growth stage. Next is phosphorus. If nitrogen is the leaf booster, then phosphorus is the root and tuber builder. Phosphorus directly supports root development and stimulates tuber formation. With enough phosphorus, cassava quickly produces secondary roots that anchor firmly in the soil and start forming tubers early. Without it, the roots stay weak, plants topple easily, and yields drop significantly. Potassium is the third element, and it is the one that determines the final quality of the roots. Potassium increases starch accumulation, making the tubers bigger, firmer, and richer in starch. It also strengthens resistance to pests and reduces the risk of rot or hollow roots. Many studies have shown that in regions with potassium-rich soils, cassava roots are not only more resilient but also tastier and more valuable in the market. Beyond these 3, trace elements such as magnesium, zinc, and boron play smaller but vital roles. Magnesium is a building block of chlorophyll, the pigment that allows leaves to capture sunlight. Without enough magnesium, leaves turn yellow and photosynthesis slows down. Zinc is essential for many growth processes, especially for the development of young shoots. Boron helps transport sugars and starch within the plant, making sure energy flows to the right places. In many countries, fertilizer management for cassava no longer relies only on experience. Farmers now test their soils before planting each season. Soil analysis shows whether nutrients are missing or in excess, allowing them to apply fertilizers precisely. This not only saves costs and prevents waste, but also reduces environmental pollution, a growing concern in modern agriculture. In traditional farming, decomposed animal manure and wood ash are often used alongside chemical fertilizers. Organic matter improves soil structure, making it looser and better at holding water, while chemical fertilizers deliver quick nutrients at specific growth stages. This combination keeps yields high while preserving soil health for future crops. In short, nutrition is the key that unlocks the yield potential of cassava. When nutrients are balanced in both quality and quantity, the plants stay strong, the roots grow large, firm and starchy, and farmers gain high economic value. But when nutrients are unbalanced, whether too little or too much, the farmer's effort may be seriously diminished. For experienced cassava growers, fertilization is not just a routine task. It is an art of balance that blends science with time-tested farming wisdom. From the 3rd to the 6th month after planting, cassava enters its most critical stage of growth. This is when the root system not only anchors firmly into the soil, but also begins to swell, forming the tubers that store the precious starch the entire season is aiming for. Day by day, starch accumulates inside the roots, gradually determining the final yield. During this stage, crop care and field management become especially important. Farmers closely observe every detail of the plant, from the color of the leaves and the shine of the stems to the pace at which new branches emerge, to detect early signs of trouble. A yellowing leaf, a drooping branch, or tiny speckles on the leaf surface can all be warning signals of pests or disease. One of the most dangerous threats is cassava witch's broom disease. When infected, the plant's growing tip becomes deformed, producing clusters of tiny shoots that resemble a broom. The plant cannot develop normally, and if not detected early, it becomes stunted and yields drop sharply. Another serious problem is the red spider mite, a tiny insect with massive destructive power. These mites feed on the underside of the leaves, causing them to turn yellow, dry, and brittle before falling off. Premature leaf loss directly reduces photosynthesis, which in turn lowers starch production in the roots. Bacterial wilt is yet another challenge. This disease causes the plant to wilt from top to bottom, with leaves curling until the plant quickly dies. What makes it particularly dangerous is that the bacteria can survive in the soil for years, making control extremely difficult. To protect cassava, farmers use several strategies. First is planting disease-resistant varieties, which is one of the most sustainable and long-term solutions. New cassava breeds that have been developed to resist witch's broom disease and bacterial wilt give farmers more confidence in their production. Crop rotation is another effective method. Alternating cassava with maize or soybeans not only breaks the life cycle of pests and diseases, but also improves soil fertility. When necessary, farmers also turn to biological pesticides. Unlike chemical ones, biological pesticides are made from microorganisms or plant extracts. They help control pests and diseases while being safer for the environment. This approach maintains the ecological balance of the field and reduces negative impacts on the soil, water, and human health. From the 3rd to the 6th month, cassava is much like a child entering adolescence. It is a period of strong, rapid growth, but also of vulnerability. Every decision, whether monitoring disease symptoms or applying protective measures, carries great weight for the success of the season. For farmers, safeguarding cassava at this stage is not just about keeping the plants healthy, it is about protecting their hope for a full and rewarding harvest ahead. After about 8 to 10 months, cassava reaches the end of its growing cycle and enters the most important stage, harvest season. The most visible sign is when the once lush green leaves gradually fade to pale yellow before falling to the ground. At the same time, the stems become tough, their bark rough and woody, a clear signal that starch inside the roots has reached its peak. In rural villages, the familiar sight of harvest season is that of farmers with hoes and shovels in hand, their feet covered in mud, striking the soil with heavy but eager swings as the white, shiny roots slowly emerge from beneath the earth. This traditional way of harvesting requires great effort, but preserves the intimate connection between farmers and their land. On large-scale farms, however, modern cassava harvesters have taken over the work. With just a few passes of the machine, hundreds of plants are pulled from the ground at once. This method not only saves time and labor costs, but also reduces the risk of roots breaking or splitting. The most important rule of harvesting is to keep the roots intact. A broken root is far more vulnerable to rot, mold, and damage during transport to processing factories. For this reason, whether harvested by hand or by machine, farmers always pay close attention to skill and precision, making sure that every cassava root lifted from the soil remains whole, fresh, and at its highest economic value. Unlike familiar crops such as potatoes or corn, which can be stored for weeks or even months, fresh cassava roots are extremely fragile. The moment they are pulled out of the ground, respiration and water loss accelerate, causing the roots to dry out, crack, and even become moldy. Within just 24 to 48 hours, if not processed in time, much of the nutritional value in cassava will be lost. For this reason, in many growing regions, farmers often process cassava immediately after harvest. There are three common methods: slicing and drying. Cassava roots are peeled, cut into thin slices, and sun-dried. This method not only extends shelf life, but also reduces the natural toxins found in cassava. Starch production. Fresh cassava is ground, repeatedly washed, and filtered to extract fine white starch. This serves as the base for many traditional dishes, such as cassava cakes, cassava sweet soup, or cooling tapioca powder. Traditional food preparation. In some rural areas, cassava is simply boiled and eaten with sesame salt, roasted over charcoal, or made into rice paper and dried noodles, foods that have become deeply rooted in the memories of many generations. In industry, the value of cassava goes far beyond food. Once refined, cassava starch can be turned into glucose and sweet syrups used in the food industry. Bioethanol, a renewable energy source that helps replace fossil fuels. Raw materials for producing paper, cardboard, textiles, and even pharmaceuticals. Thanks to these applications, what was once considered a humble root tied to simple meals has now become a strategic export commodity for many tropical countries, including Vietnam. From small fields to modern industrial production lines, the journey of cassava stands as living proof of how human creativity and resourcefulness can transform destiny. Cassava has long gone beyond being just an ordinary food crop. Throughout history, it has often been regarded as a famine rescue crop, helping people survive during times of drought and natural disasters. Today, cassava's value has been elevated to a socio-economic level, becoming an important source of income for millions of farming households around the world. In Africa, more than 200 million people rely on cassava as their main source of daily starch. It is easy to grow, highly drought-tolerant, and well-suited for poor soils and harsh climates. This makes cassava a reliable food source, reducing the risks of hunger and food insecurity for farmers. In Thailand, Vietnam, and many other Southeast Asian countries, cassava serves not only domestic needs, but has also become a billion-dollar export commodity. The entire cassava value chain, from cultivation, harvesting, and starch processing to industrial applications such as food products, ethanol, paper, and textiles, creates jobs for farmers, traders, and factory workers, contributing significantly to national economies. Especially in the context of climate change, cassava is considered a crop of the future. It thrives in drought conditions, requires little maintenance, adapts to poor soils, and still delivers stable yields. This resilience allows farmers to invest with confidence while also contributing to food security on both regional and global scales. Cassava, therefore, is not just a source of starch, but also an economic and social lifeline. It helps millions of people improve their livelihoods, increase income, and pursue sustainable development. From small family farms to modern processing factories, cassava proves that even a simple crop can bring multi-dimensional value, not only in food and economic terms, but also as a strategic player in the future of global agriculture. Cassava. From a humble crop, it has now become a strategic food source and a pillar of the green industry. But its true value goes far beyond that. Every cassava root, every product made from it, carries the effort of farmers and the vitality of the land. And this is where you can take action, support clean agriculture, choose sustainable products, and contribute to protecting the environment. With just one smart choice today, you help farmers increase their income, safeguard the soil, and build a greener future for the next generations. Don't let cassava's story remain only in history books or statistics. Become a part of this journey today. Every small action, every choice you make, creates a real difference.